Hello, I'm Lisa Flood.
And I'm Jason Angela. Welcome to Faith and Marriage Today.
Today we would like to welcome Father Jeff Bayhi and Father Chuck Swanson to the set. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. It's our pleasure to be here.
Now, Father Bayhi, I know you're no stranger to TV, so you've hosted a few shows in your day, haven't you?
I have. For 21 years, now 22 years now. Used to, well, still on WLAE on Sunday mornings, yes.
That's right.
Well, it just is really important that we have you here. I was recently at a fundraiser at a friend's house, and I heard you two speak about just the horrific issue of human trafficking. And I called Jason and I said, we have to talk to these two priests and find out more about what's going on. So thank you for joining us today.
We're happy.
It's our pleasure, yeah.
It's our pleasure.
Yeah, I just want to jump right into it. Let's talk. There's a lot of people, I'm sure, familiar with the movie Sound of Freedom that came out just recently, and so I think that kind of put a spotlight on the problem that's been going on for a long time. But could you, for our viewers, help to point out like what's going on right now with human trafficking? What are some misconceptions? What are those numbers that we need to know, the factors that are happening right now that are impacting the people, so many people here, not just somewhere else, but here?
You know, that movie was very, very true, but less than maybe half of the picture, because you thought it was only people that were coming across the border.
That's right.
And some of the things that I was very, very shocked at is that 42% of the girls that are trafficked by their primary caregiver.
Really?
Yes, here, their own families here in Louisiana. It's not any different in other states, I don't think.
That's really shocking, Father. I mean, by their own parents or
by
their
their own
caregivers?
parents, grandparents, mother's boyfriend, uncle. So that's what it is like, yeah.
Well, you all ought to know very well, if it shows about marriage and faith, the decline of marriage and faith in our society, and so many of our children. And if you saw in the video that was done, one of our little girls, our firstborn, said, she's expecting a third child. She said, had it not been for the nuns, I would not know how to raise children, because they gave me something I never had, and now I'm giving that to my children. Yeah. And the breakdown of marriage and family, 100%. The addictive culture, the I guess gender confusion is the best way to talk about that, in terms of many ideologies that affect marriage and family life. You have a lot of children out there who they're looking for someone to tell them the truth, someone to lead them, someone to help them. It doesn't exist in many households, and that's a real tragic problem. But when you think 42, and that's the national average, 42. Our kids, Father Chuck, are probably 80%.
Wait, when you talk about your kids, what do you mean when you say your kids?
All right, when we're talking about, we have hosted and rescued 88 children in the last almost 6 years now. And of those 88 children, 80 of them have been Louisiana residents. 5 of them have been from other U.S. states.
And only 3 from
have been across the border.
And that's how come I said that Sound of Freedom is
right.
Yeah.
Really true, but only really half true.
People who think we have a problem because of the border, and the border is certainly a problem, but those poor children with the coyotes are so far down a mole hole, we haven't found them yet. But our own administration admits to the fact that they have allowed 85,000 unaccompanied minors to come to this country, and they've lost them.
They don't know where they are.
They don't know where they are. They've lost complete contact with 85,000 unaccompanied minors. I promise you, 84,000 are cleaning someone's toilet or sleeping in someone's bed right now. And those challenges, and I just have to say this, here we are, we have people who are, if you misuse their gender preferred pronoun,
right,
they want you fired.
Canceled.
And now we have 5 million people in the United States every year bought and sold. Every year, 5 million people. 85% of those people are U.S. born citizens. And no one cares. And Black Lives Matter, wants money for slavery, 7 generations ago, and we have 5 million live active slaves in this country, and no one's supporting it, and no one's talking about it. I mean, it's an incrimination.
It blows my mind. Why are we not talking about this? Why is something that's almost taboo? It's almost like, let's not talk about that. That's too much.
You know what I want to know? You referenced the movie Sound of Freedom. Mm-hmm. And the liberal media and Hollywood, they just went nuts. And they did everything they could. This movie was produced 4 years ago. And they didn't want it released at all.
Disney said no.
Yeah, well, Paramount or Netflix.
Netflix said no to it.
Wow.
And it was 3 or 4 years ago it was produced.
And why?
Yeah.
Now, and this is not a shock to anyone who watches this show. The church has been through a really tough time with some people dressed just like Father Chuck and I, who've done some terrible things. And every one of them have been front page of every newspaper. And I'm not objecting to that. If they did what they're accused of, they should be exposed. But how come no one knows who was on Jeffrey Epstein's plane to the pedophile island?
Yeah.
How come we have state legislators who are now introducing bills to protect from discrimination minor attracted adults?
Wow.
Pedophiles.
Yeah.
And we're trying to protect them against any discrimination, and these things are going on, and it's a state of chaos. It's a state of chaos that is currently part of the big picture for these same children who are, talking about, I don't feel safe, and you use the wrong pronoun, and now they're in the streets, and you hear kids yelling, "Death to the Jews," and you go,
yeah. Like you said, our families are falling apart. The faith is being shattered in people's lives. They're not being introduced into this loving environment of home and family life. We've got a culture that's addicted to everything. Pornography is on this incredible rise, destroying marriages, destroying relationships, preventing men specifically, I can speak to men, being able to make that gift of self because they're addicted to these vices that's preventing them to be able to see the beauty of another person. All these things, and then you also have this environment where we can't even put a spotlight on the reality of the crimes that's happening to these children, and then we're just letting it happen.
During the pandemic, when our children were not able to go to school, there's this one-stop shop for all things pornographic place called Pornhub. Yeah. It was the largest demographic to access Pornhub during the shutdown? 10 to 14-year-old males. 10 to, this comes from Susan Rice and Enough is Enough, 10 to 14-year-old males were the largest group to access Pornhub. Now you tell me what that says about the future of married life and married love and stable, intimate relationships and family life. People don't swing from chandeliers at home. And when these kids during that, and the curiosity is normal, all kids go through that.
Right.
That's normal. But when they think, this is reality, what they see on Pornhub. That is a death wish for future generations.
So clearly, pornography is related a huge way to the trafficking issue. But what I want to know is what drew each of you, there's a lot of things you could be doing as a priest.
Yeah.
What drew you first, Father Chuck, into this mission?
Well, I met Father Jeff, which opened my eyes, and he taught me about it. But then when you begin to realize what it does to children, to girls and to boys, it just, you have to do something about it. You just cannot sit back and say, oh, I'm going to let somebody else take care of it. You have to get yourself involved. And so, and then when you meet these children, and that's who we work with, we have 11-year-olds in our home. Juveniles, that when you meet them, you got to do something about it. You got to reach out to stop it. For you men watching out there, man up and teach your. It's a man thing. Most of it is the pornography stuff
and the consumers.
It's a man thing mostly, and teach your sons to respect women. Teach your sons what sexuality is for. That's missing. That's missing in those children's lives.
So, Father Jeff, what drew you to this mission?
Well, you referenced earlier my television show that on Sunday morning. Right after 9/11, I went to Rome and I brought a camera crew to do shows in Rome. You're Catholic TV, you're a priest, kind of, let's go to the home office, okay? But anyway, a friend of mine who's ambassador, Jim Nicholson, I said, Jim, I need some people who speak English doing some good things. He introduced me to a nun by the name of Sister Eugenia Benetti. She became my catechist. She's the one that Pope Francis says she's the Mother Teresa of the children of the streets. And she started Talitha Kum, little girl get up, and slaves no more. And you hear it and you want to throw up, as I did. But then you talk to a child who's 15 years old and been raped 2,000 times.
I mean, I can't fathom that.
Who walks away from that and says, not my table?
Right.
These children need a voice, and I've got a big mouth, and no, but I mean, and like Father Chuck says, these are our little girls. I mean, for God's sakes, we have a little girl who's been with us for over a year now. She just celebrated her 12th birthday, and the nuns have cake and the hats and the sash and the presents, and she's still a little girl. Our children love stuffed animals. They went through a stage, all of them want babies, so they had baby dolls, and they'd come to church with their baby dolls, and they'd be burping them and everything and rocking them and all that, and the parishioners, oh, let me see your baby. It was a doll.
It was a doll,
But no, I mean,
and these are 16-year-olds.
Yeah.
Because they missed that.
Yeah.
They hadn't had a chance to be little girls. They hadn't had a chance to be in a safe environment. Our children come, and one of the little girls that was in the video, I looked at it because I went for a 22nd. She had her first birthday cake with us at the age of 16. She had her second one this past August when I brought it to where she was living for her 22nd birthday. And she was so heavy in there. Our children come, and there are two things that happen. The children, we have 3 meals a day. Man, our kids eat and eat and eat. And, when they were on the streets, maybe supper was a bag of chips and a soda, okay? Yeah. And so they didn't know when they were going to eat again. So they would overeat. And after about a month and they can't get in their jeans, they decide to back it off a little bit because they know meals are coming 3 times a day. But the other thing is we built a beautiful 16-bedroom, 16-bath, privacy and a little desk and little chairs and closet and all that. They sleep in the closet.
So this is a home that you opened?
Yes. This is Metanoia Manor.
Okay.
And the children won't sleep in the bed because at home they'd be woke up in the middle of the night, let's go make some money. And so they won't sleep in the bed because if you sleep in the closet, no one's going to know they're in there.
They feel safer.
And when they move out of the closet and sleep in the bed, we know they found a home. They trust us. That they trust that we're not letting anyone come in the middle of the night and take them out of their bed.
So how do these teenagers or adolescents get to Metanoia Manor?
The officials that rescue them from their pimps, they know about Metanoia.
Okay.
And so they call and they say, we've got a girl, we need a home for her. And they talk to the sisters and the director, and the sisters and the director interview the girl to see whether she's a good fit for our program. And the girl interviews us to see if she wants to come. As a matter of fact, they do a Zoom meeting with one of our girls.
One of our residents.
So that they can talk to somebody their age about it.
That's good.
And so they come from the hospital, Children's Hospital here in New Orleans.
Really?
They come from the police department. They come from FBI. They come from Juvenile
Office of Juvenile Justice.
And
DCFS.
And DCFS. So that's how they come in. There are some private, placements because parents, want to help their their child.
So when they come in, they get food, they get shelter,
Right.
they get love, support services.
They get a lot of stuff.
It's a custodial issue for us.
Okay.
They're juveniles.
Oh, that's right.
State law does not allow us to take in a juvenile at will. So either through the state, we're licensed by the state of Louisiana. We have a MOU, a memorandum of understanding, so that we can be care providers for children who've been trafficked. And so someone's got to place them with us. I just can't go look at a child on the street and say,
right.
honey, something's happened to you, let me take you. That's illegal.
Yeah.
So there's a custodial issue.
Sure.
And so when they come, like Father Chuck said, in almost 6 years, we've never had a runaway. So, well, first of all, we're strategically placed where it wouldn't be a smart thing to run. But anyway.
And many of the girls that we get have run away 4 or 5 times from, they take them and put them in a group home, which really is trying to help them, but it doesn't fit them.
Yeah.
It doesn't fit their needs. So they have something to eat, they take a shower, get some clean clothes, and run back to their pimp.
Yeah. And the thing is when your own parents have sold you, your own parents have taken your money and used your body and let people do to these children what has happened to them, that's a specific trauma. The adolescent defiance disorder, or the bad attitude, or the drugs, or this is totally different. You've been repeatedly raped, and you haven't even gotten money for it. They got the money, and they use your body. And so the trauma is specific. We only take verified trafficking children because, there's all sorts of things. And with us, some of our children go to a dentist for the first time in their life, go to a doctor for the first time in their life. And
other than an emergency room, which they've been beaten many times to go to the emergency room, or that. Not any regular care, medical care, health care.
Yeah.
So you give them health care. I'm sure you do mental health.
Education, we do addiction therapy, individual therapy, group therapy, equine therapy, trauma therapy. Then we do...
And love therapy.
And then they have school work, and our children are evaluated when they come. We need to see where they are.
And you also, not only the victims, but if the victims have children, y'all welcome their children with them.
That's right, because we're the only juvenile shelter in the United States that will take a pregnant girl.
Wow.
We're the only shelter in the United States that take a girl that has a child, because we can take somebody from 0 to
18. Keep them till they're 21
if they want. Yeah.
And then
It's shocking to me that that's even a need.
well,
Yeah.
we got a call from Colorado of a 6-year-old, been trafficked 2 years. Dad's a porn
6-year-old?
store. Dad's a porn store. Mother's a crack addict. No one wants a child. Hey, bring her. We'll raise her. She'll be ours. And at the last minute, the grandfather steps in. God knows what that involves at this point. But we'll take a woman who's got a child because of her street activities. We'll take someone. We're grandfathers. We got a grandson, Francisco. Yes.
So
there are 50 million slaves in the world, as according to United Nations. 10%, the United States consumes 10% of them. So there are 5 million slaves in the United States. And trafficking involves more than just sex trafficking, which is about 85% of it. But there's labor trafficking and organ trafficking.
And organ procurement, and in some countries, not necessarily, it's forced marriages.
Forced marriages, yeah.
Yeah. So that's...
So before the pandemic, there were 40 million, and during that time, because people were home and, it went up to...
No services.
long before Sound of Freedom, y'all are very much aware of the problem going on.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so y'all have stepped up in a powerful way. The sister you mentioned, Sister Eugene.
Eugenia Benetti.
She said
she was my
that
catechist.
There's a quote from her on your Facebook page, I believe. She says, everyone.
No one can do everything,
but
everyone can do something.
Thank you. I'm glad you. Yes, exactly. So, and y'all stepped up and y'all are doing something amazing. So y'all have the Metanoia Manor.
Yeah.
You're helping out these women who have been just abused and to a level that I can't even wrap my brain around.
No.
Like,
I know, I can't either.
But then you have these beautiful nuns that are there that are just Christ's hands and feet.
They are the heroes, not us. We get the microphone. The nuns are the heroes.
But there's also a program director.
Yes,
staff.
It's a team. It's a team of people.
Psych therapist.
Yeah.
There's a
teacher.
Tutor, because when the girls come, they give them the test. The average age is 4th grade.
Yeah.
In school.
Maybe 15 years old.
I know we still got time, but I just want to make sure we jump to the, so if anybody wants to know more about Metanoia Manor,
yes,
they can go to metanoia-inc.
Yeah, metanoia-inc.org. Or they can go on YouTube and look at the video.
Yes, it was the video, the name of the video is Turning the Tide, right?
Yep.
It's a documentary called Turning the Tide, a story of hell, healing, and hope.
That's it.
Yeah. And everybody, you've got to watch this documentary. This thing is...
And it's right here in Louisiana.
Right, done right here. And the services, okay, so then I want to make sure that's said. And at the same time, we can do something. Everybody can do something. What can we do?
All right, first of all, this is not just upper level social work.
Yeah.
This is a real good versus evil.
Yeah.
When you're talking about, we live in a society where the human person has been reduced to a matter of profit, pleasure, or possession.
Yeah.
We had a North Shore high school that arrested a high school senior for selling 2 freshman girls on campus. Because he's a big man on campus, little freshman arrived, a lot of attention, they were nice looking, ooh, ah, all that. They sent the picture.
Yeah.
Once he got the picture, either everyone in the school is going to see it and your parents are going to see it, or you're going to do what I'm telling you.
What?
Okay? I mean, there is a real issue when who raises a 17-year-old child who's going to sell 2 of his classmates?
Right.
I stutter, but I don't have an answer for that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And so it's I call human trafficking a symptom, not a problem.
Yeah.
The devaluation of the human person that we see every day in our society and the degradation through things like pornography is a continuation of devaluing the human person, and so much so that we can buy them and sell them.
This is not just a Catholic issue. This is a human rights issue.
This is human dignity. This is not about, any particular religion. Whatever religion you are, if you believe you're made in the image and likeness of God, then we are not disposable pieces of property be bought and sold.
Yeah, Pope Francis said what human trafficking is a crime against humanity.
Yes.
And we need to rise up. So I hear my encouragement would be to obviously check out the resources that y'all have available to learn more about Metanoia Manor, support obviously with prayers, financially.
It costs us $850,000 a year to keep our kids, and we have to raise it.
Yeah.
So you fundraise the whole thing.
Yeah. And so if you can pledge $10 a month, $20 a month, if you can do that, and I know there are so many different things, but I need to say this, and you talked about Congressman Poe that we work with, and this is his stat, because he was a chair of the Human Rights Caucus. In the United States, we have over 5,000 animal rescue shelters, each one holding 100 to 1,000 animals. In the United States, where 5 million people are bought and sold every year, we have less than 800 beds.
That's so sad.
Less than 800 beds. And when I see,
That's horrible.
When I see the little puppy, the little kitten, and all you PETA people, I love you cats and dogs, that's not the point. But when I see us giving $19 a month to save animals,
right,
and we can't get any federal funding because we won't take anatomically correct males who self-identify as females and are being trafficked, and we won't take that. And who's going to let anatomically correct males sleep next to kids who've been repeatedly raped? I mean, so. All these issues, and we need $10 a month, $20 a month, whatever you can do, but we need prayer. This is good versus evil.
Yes.
You know, I mean,
prayer, fasting,
yeah.
and offering our gifts to support. And like you said too, Father, this coming back to marriage and family,
Right.
like the future of the church and of the world passes through the family. This comes back to families. We need to, yes, support those people who are out there serving people who are in these situations. Find out those resources, the programs that you can support and give to. That's great. Pray for, absolutely. But we need to, like Mother Teresa, if you want to change the world, go home and love your family. We need to come back home, come back to our own hearts, allow the love of Christ to just penetrate even deeper, to allow our hearts to be more united to His, to be that light to our families, to our children, and to the world. So we all have a great responsibility, a piece of this.
Absolutely.
You know, and I said fathers,
yeah,
but also mothers.
yeah,
And let the mothers teach their sons.
yeah, amen.
Well, you know, I'm sorry, Lisa, go ahead.
I'm just thinking, before we run to the end, I think we need some glory stories. We need to hear how has God moved powerfully for some of these precious souls that have been placed in your care. And Father Chuck's crying already as I just asked that question.
You know, and when people ask for success stories, they want to hear that now we have someone at Harvard and she's studying criminal law and getting ready to get a degree in, you know, human services. We're not even 6 years old. We have children who have escaped. They found a job. They, you know, they are not living in fear.
Yeah.
They sleep in their bed at night. They have children. They're better mothers because they have children. They, you know, our nuns have a tremendous Mother's Day. Everybody's calling them. Go ahead.
So, and they get a high school degree, you know.
Yeah.
You know, they're, but the trauma is there, and it's going to be there for a long, long time.
I mean, you know,
But fortunately, it's not all the time.
Right.
It's certain things that'll trigger it for them.
yeah.
Yeah.
But and so our success is that our children finally have hope. Have they reached all their goals? No, they haven't. But they're out and they're feeling a sense that they can do something. They've been empowered, you know, and you know, and unfortunately, our 18-year-olds are just like your 18-year-olds. They got the world by the tail, baby. No one can tell them anything, okay? And so they get out and they stumble and fall, but they always come back. The kids keep up with the sisters. You know, that's their rudder in life. It really is. The nuns have become that go-to person for our children.
The impact of love in another person.
Tell them what Allie said.
Oh,
About
Allie,
this is in
the video. Allie says, "You know what? The devil don't like metanoia, because those nuns got a little piece of heaven, and the devil don't like what we're doing." And she's right, you know.
Father, that is probably, I can't think of a better way for us to come to the close of this segment. We are going to have you back because we have a lot more to discuss, and we want to help spread the word all that we can.
We'll make sure Father Chuck comes back, because when he sits next to me, I don't look so bad over here.
All right, that's all the time we have, but we will continue this conversation. Thank you so much for being with us. To learn more about the great work of Metanoia Manor, please go to metanoia-inc.org.
And that's our show for today. Please be sure to check us out on Facebook, like us on Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, or learn more about the work of Faith and Marriage at faithandmarriage.org. Also, if you have a question for us or a comment, please let us know. We'd love to hear from you.
Thanks for watching. Until next time, God bless.